You've seen the theory. You know that two graphs can look completely different on the page, but actually be identical twins in the eyes of mathematics. But how do you prove it when the structures get complex? In our previous video, we covered the basic definition of an isomorphism with an example of how to identify and verify one. I prepared further examples that we're going to walk through together. We'll start by using our intuition to identify the potential relationship, and then we'll move into the formal step-by-step process to verify the isomorphism. We'll be looking at vertex mappings, degree sequences, and even some tricky cycle counts. If you haven't watched the earlier video, I've linked it in the description. But if you're ready to master the verification process, let's begin with this first example. So here we have two graphs, G and H. In graph G, we have vertices lettered A to F. And in graph H, we have vertices numbered 1 to 6. Let's check to see if there's an isomorphic relationship between the two. Firstly, we need to show that the number of vertices in G is equal to the number of vertices in H. And then we need to show that the number of edges in G is equal to the number of edges in H. So in graph G, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vertices. And in graph H, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vertices. So both graphs have 6 vertices. Now moving on to the edge count. Graph G has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 edges. And graph H has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 edges. And so the number of edges in each graph is the same and is equal to 6. Next, we need to look at the degree sequence of each graph. So in each graph, we need to count the number of edges associated with each vertex and then order them from highest to lowest. And for an isomorphic relationship to exist, the degree sequence of each graph needs to be the same. So let's begin with graph G. The vertex A has 2 edges, vertex B has 2 edges, vertex C has 2 edges, vertex D has 2 edges, vertex E has 2 edges, and vertex F has 2 edges. And in graph H, vertex 1 has 2 edges, vertex 2 has 2 edges, vertex 3 has 2 edges, vertex 4 has 2 edges, vertex 5 has 2 edges, and vertex 6 has 2 edges. If we now order the degrees of each vertex from highest to lowest for each of the graphs, we get the degree sequence of graph G and the degree sequence of graph H. And as we can see, both degree sequences are the same. Next, to show that there is an isomorphic relationship between the two graphs, we need to show that the cycles within each of the graphs are the same. So they need the same number of cycles, and each of the cycles needs to have the same length. So to find a cycle, we start at one vertex, travel along the edges to other vertices, and then we end up back where we started. So let's look at graph G. If we start at vertex A, we can travel to B, and then to C, to D, to E, to F, and then back to A again. So in graph G, we have a cycle of length 6. So it's a C6 cycle, and it includes all 6 vertices in graph G. And moving on to graph H, we can start at vertex 1 and travel to 2, to 3, and back to 1 again. And we can also start at vertex 4, travel to vertex 5, to 6, and back to 4 again. And therefore in graph H, we have 2 cycles of length 3, so 2 C3 cycles. So as we can see, we have a different number of cycles between graph G and H, and also the cycles are of different lengths. And so in this case, there is no isomorphic relationship between graph G and graph H. In this next example, we have 2 graphs G and H. Let's check for an isomorphism. As usual, if you'd like to play along, pause the video now. So let's first check that the vertex count and then the edge count are the same in each of the graphs G and H. So the vertex count first. In graph G we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in graph H we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And so the vertex count in each graph is equal to 5 and therefore the same. And now moving on to the edge count. In graph G, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 edges. And in graph H, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 edges. And so both graphs have 6 edges. So the edge count is the same. Next, we need to show that the degree sequence of each graph is the same. So let's number the degree of each vertex in each graph. So beginning with graph G, vertex E has 2 edges. So the degree of E is 2. A has 3 edges, so its degree is 3. D has 2 edges, C has 2 edges, and B has 3 edges. And in graph H, vertex 1 has 2 edges, vertex 3 has 2 edges, vertex 2 has 3 edges, vertex 5 has 3 edges, and vertex 4 has 2 edges. And so for each graph, if we order these numbers from highest to lowest, we get the degree sequence of the graph. And as we can see, the degree sequence of graph G and graph H are identical. Next, let's look at the number of cycles within each graph. And remember, the number and length of each cycle needs to be the same. And so beginning with graph G, we can start at A, travel to C, then to B, and from B back to A again. So that's a cycle of length 3. So it's a C3 cycle. And then we can start at A and travel to B, move on to E, and then to D, and back to A again. And that's a cycle of length 4. So a C4 cycle. And then we can start at A again, move to C, to B, then from B to E, from E to D, and then from D back to A again. And that's a cycle of length 5. So a C5 cycle. And moving on to graph H, we can begin at vertex 1, travel to 2, then on to 5, and back to 1 again. And so that's a cycle of length 3. So a C3 cycle. Next, we can start at vertex 2, move on to vertex 3, from 3 to 4, from 4 to vertex 5, and then back to vertex 2 again. And that's a cycle of length 4. So a C4 cycle. We can then start at vertex 1 again, travel to 2, and then from vertex 2 to vertex 3, vertex 3 to vertex 4, 4 to 5, and then vertex 5 back to vertex 1 again. And that's a cycle of length 5. So a C5 cycle. So as we can see, graphs G and H have the same number of cycles, and each cycle is of the same length. And finally, we need to show that a mapping exists between the vertices of graph G and the vertices of graph H. So in graph G, the two 3-degree vertices, so that's A and B, are connected to each other, and they both connect to vertex C. This creates a triangle A, B, C. And in graph H, the two 3-degree vertices, so that's vertex 2 and 5, are connected to each other, and they both connect to vertex 1. And this creates a triangle containing vertices 1, 2, and 5. So therefore, we can see that vertex A maps to vertex 2, vertex B maps to vertex 5, and vertex C maps to vertex 1. In graph G, we can see that vertex A is connected to vertex D, and vertex D is of degree 2. And in graph H, we've already connected vertex 2, which corresponds to vertex A, with vertices 1 and 5, as they make up the triangle. And the remaining vertex in graph H, which is also a degree 2 vertex, is vertex 3. And so vertex D in graph G maps to vertex 3 in graph H. And so the remaining vertices, vertex E and vertex 4, must map to each other. And so we can say that graph G has an isomorphic relationship with graph H. In this example, we have two graphs G and H. Let's check for an isomorphism. And again, if you'd like to play along, pause the video now. So our first test is to check that they have the same number of vertices and that they have the same number of edges. So in graph G, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vertices. And in graph H, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 vertices. So therefore, each graph has 5 vertices. The number of vertices in each graph is equal. And now let's look at the number of edges in each graph, as these also need to be equal. So in graph G, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And in graph H, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And so the number of edges in each graph is 7. And therefore, each graph has an equal number of edges. So next, we can look at the degree sequence of each graph. So we need to order the number of degrees of each vertex from highest to lowest, and the two sequences need to match. In graph G, vertex A has 2 edges, so therefore the degree of A is 2, and vertex B has 4 edges, so its degree is 4, and vertex E has 3 edges, so its degree is 3. And then D has 3 edges, so its degree is 3, and C has 2 edges, so its degree is 2. And then if we look at graph H, vertex 1 has 3 edges, so its degree is 3. Vertex 3 has 3 edges, so its degree is 3. Vertex 2 has 3 edges, so its degree is 3. Vertex 4 has 3 edges, so its degree is 3. And vertex 5 has 2 edges, so its degree is 2. And so for graph G, we get a degree sequence of 4, 3, 3, 2, 2. And for graph H, we get a degree sequence of 3, 3, 3, 3, and 2. And as we can see, these are not the same. As this test has failed, there cannot be an isomorphic relationship between graph G and graph H. In our next example, let's check these two graphs, G and H, to see if there exists an isomorphic relationship. And again, if you'd like to play along, pause the video now. So first, let's check that the number of vertices in each graph are of equal number. So in graph G, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vertices. And in graph H, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vertices. So both graphs have 6 vertices and therefore an equal number. And moving on to the number of edges, these also have to be equal in number in each graph. So in graph G, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 edges. And in graph H, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 edges. Each graph, therefore, shares an equal number of edges. Next, moving on to degree sequence. In graph G, vertex A has a degree of 2, B has a degree of 3, as it has 3 edges, C has a degree of 3, as it also has 3 edges, and D has a degree of 3. E has a degree of 2, and F has a degree of 1. In graph H, vertex 1 has a degree of 3, vertex 2 has a degree of 2, vertex 3 has a degree of 3, and vertex 4 has a degree of 3. Vertex 5 has a degree of 2, and vertex 6 has a degree of 1. And ordering these numbers for each graph from highest to lowest gives us the degree sequence of each graph. And as we can see, the degree sequence of each graph is identical. Now let's look at the number of cycles in graph G and the cycle length. So in graph G, we can start at A, move to D. From D, we can go back to B. And from B, we're back at A. And that's a cycle of length 3, so that's a C3 cycle. And then we can start at vertex B, move to C, C to D, and D returning to B. And that's another C3 cycle. And then I can also see one which starts at A, goes to D, then to C, on to B, and back to A. And that's a C4 cycle. And then in graph H, we can start at vertex 1, go to 2, 2 to 3, and then back to 1 again. We can also start at vertex 1 again, go to 4, and then to 3, back to 1 again. And so that's 2 separate cycles of length 3. So 2 C3 cycles. And there's another one I can see. If we start at vertex 1, go to 4, and then 4 to 3, and 3 to vertex 2, and vertex 2 back to vertex 1. And that's a cycle of length 4. So it's a C4 cycle. I don't see any other cycles. So as we can see, graph H and graph G have an equal number of cycles, and each cycle is of equal length. And the final part is to map the vertices of graph G to the vertices of graph H via their edges. So we can see in graph G that vertex F has one edge, and in graph H, vertex 6 also has one edge. And these are the only two vertices in each graph that have one edge. And so we can map vertex F to vertex 6. And we can see in graph G that vertex F connects to vertex E, which is a degree 2 vertex. And in graph H, vertex 6 connects to vertex 5, which is also a degree 2 vertex. And therefore, vertex E maps to vertex 5. And in graph G, vertex E connects to vertex C, which is a degree 3 vertex. And in graph H, vertex 5 connects to vertex 4, which is a degree 3 vertex. And so we can map vertex C in graph G to vertex 4 in graph H. And of the remaining unmapped vertices, in graph G, there is only one vertex with a degree of 2, and similarly in graph H. In graph G, vertex A is a degree of 2, and in graph H, vertex 2 is a degree of 2. And therefore we can map vertex A to vertex 2. And now looking at what's left, we have in graph G we have B and D, and in graph H we have 1 and 3. And all these vertices have a degree of 3. In graph G, both vertices B and D connect to A and C, and they also connect to themselves. And in graph H, vertices 1 and 3 both connect to vertices 2 and 4, and also connect to themselves. And so we can map vertex B to vertex 1 and vertex D to vertex 3. Now some of you may have mapped B to 3 and D to 1. Is that wrong? Not at all. In graph theory, we call this an automorphism. As long as your mapping preserves the edges, meaning if B and D are connected in graph G, their partners 1 and 3 must be connected in H. Your isomorphism is valid. So we've proved that there is an isomorphic relationship between graphs G and H. In this example, let's check for an isomorphism between graphs G and H. As usual, if you'd like to play along, pause the video now. We first need to demonstrate that the number of vertices in graph G is equal to the number of vertices in graph H, and that the number of edges in graph G is equal to the number of edges in graph H. And so beginning with vertices, in graph G we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And in graph H we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. The number of vertices in each graph is 5 and therefore equal. And now moving on to the number of edges in each graph. In graph G we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And in graph H we have 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And so the number of edges in each graph is not equal. And so in this case, there is not an isomorphic relationship between graphs G and H.